Hi, this is Craig from Sulcata Grove. Today we're going to be talking about how to take cuttings from passion fruit vine. This one in particular, this is a variety called Panama Red. It has a very large fruit on it. Pretty good flavor. It's a little bit tartar than some of the other ones I've had, but it is a good fruit and produces well. When you're taking cuttings, I try to avoid using the very terminal parts of the vine. Sometimes they work well, but I've found that if you go back and you get a little bit thicker part of the vine from farther back, they do better. I will say right now we do have fruit on this one, but we do also have some bloom that's coming out. When doing cuttings of most plants, you want to avoid doing it when it has bloom on it. The hormones in the plant are telling it to bloom and not so it's not growing as much. You're not going to get as much active growth. I'm going to just, for example's sake though, I'm going to go ahead and show how I do these. Alright, so when we take our cutting, we're going to cut a piece back here, and you can see we got a lot of tendrils holding on. And when you have these, see here we have one of our Florida pests, a Sri Lankan weevil. These little white, they are bad news. They get really bad. They don't really do a whole lot of damage to the tree other than leaf eating. But they can do enough to where it really makes a difference, especially on things like lychees. Anyway, but you see we have a flower developing here. We can just pinch that off. Same down here. Flowers tend to make the trees put their energy into producing flowers, and so you don't get as much vegetative growth energy. So it's best to actually do these at a time of year when they don't have flowers on them, and that's true of most plants when you're doing cuttings. And you can see this new growth up here. It's very soft, it's very tender. It's not going to survive very well if you leave it on the plant. So I'm going to come back here to it. It's a little bit thicker and cut these off. And I'm going to cut off 2 nodes at a time. And the back one, I'm going to cut the leaves off down at the bottom. The top one, I'm just going to trim the leaves on, and then that's ready to be, you can dip that in some rooting hormone and put that in some water and sit it in a window somewhere until you get some roots growing out. And once you have some roots, then you can pot them up into pots. So the next step is getting ready for rooting. You need a rooting hormone. I prefer Dip and Grow. It has both IBA and NAA in it. There are also powders you can use. They're all similarly effective. To me, this is just the one I like. It comes with a little measuring cup here too. And it's got a little fill line down at the very bottom for the concentrate. So we're just going to fill it to the concentration line. And then it's got several different lines depending on what concentration you want. Now for softer wood and cuttings like this, you don't really need it that concentrated. So I'm going to probably fill this up to about the 3 ounces, which is 15x. And so then once I've got that, it's a little easier for me to get to it in a broader dish, so I'm going to go and pour that in there. And then each one of these needs to just be dipped for about 5 to 10 seconds. It really doesn't take very long. So just put those in there for a few seconds, shake them off, and then put them into some water. And they're going to sit like this in a window in the sun until you start seeing roots coming out there, and as they start getting roots you can pull them out and then pot them up into small pots.